All right, guys, we are back again at the 66 Toronado. It was a busy weekend. So she runs, she drives, she's starting to get cleaned up. Things are looking up. So I think today we're gonna keep on with cleaning this girl. Like I said, it was 2 nights ago. We got the hood, half the one side done. I wanna get finished waxing on this windshield. Bumpers, we'll probably put the hubcaps on while we're at it. Get her looking good, then go back diving into the inside stuff with some of these electrical gremlins. I've got belts, spark plugs, air filters, oil filters, all that on the way. That's still a bunch of stuff we have to do under the hood. So yeah, things are going good. Also, we got our last furry friend here, I think, so he's gonna go trapping all into the crematorium there. It's getting cold here in Pennsylvania. But anyways, let's get to waxing on this girl. These hubcaps need a little love and rinsing themselves, so I think I'm gonna take all of them, excluding that one that's brand new, into the house here, rinse them off, and then hit them with a little bit of polish before we put them back on. And I'll probably hit these. That's not too deep of rust. We can hit that with some Quad Zero here. And it's kind of hard to do left-handed, but I'll take a good amount of that off. Next person, if they want, they could paint these rims. I probably would, but not really necessary. They're not too bad. So let's go and wash these, come back out, because we can put this first one on and keep moving on down the line with the wax. All right, folks, they're still soaking wet, but we got these cleaned up. I'll take them out in a second, but I want to tell you an old Indian trick. If you're cleaning something like this, I mean, this is a brushed, and you can tell someone's cleaned it. It's damn near 60 years old with scratch marks. But if you don't want to scratch it, take a greenie that you have used a lot for your dishes that is soft and flaccid. It will not scratch this, but still give you enough abrasiveness to clean it off. Another option is dryer sheets. Dryer sheets will clean this off and not scratch your finish. All right, folks, first rim is on. Keep in mind, Eldorado and Toronado rims like this and like this take special wheel weights. Make sure you go to a garage that knows what they're doing when they mount your tires. Luckily, mine does. I've taken other wheels to them. So anyways, let's keep moving down the car here. Get some more wax on her. Okay, folks. Look at that shine. All the way down the side. Got the second hubcap on. So for those of you that know, which I didn't know, these hubcaps are 1967 hubcaps. I got chastised when I first showed off this car that it was a 66 with 67 hubcaps. But anyways, I don't care. The new owner won't care, but look how beautiful that is. Look at that shovel head just reflecting in that paint there. It needs clean too because it's done for the season. We're halfway done. Well, more than halfway done. We're halfway around the trunk. You can't really tell. Kind of you can there with the light. Anyways, so want to get this done. Want to get her out in the sunlight tomorrow after work and get some photos. Don't know if I'm going to get to the chrome tonight. Maybe start the front. I don't have anything going on. We'll see. But these other beauties need clean too. For those of you that know me know that I'm out of space. I had to shuffle cars around to my other house to get this beautiful girl in here, but my God, was it worth it. So if you guys are liking this, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna say that again later. I'm finally understanding the power of that, so enjoy. And we'll come back to you when the rest of this car is clean. All right, folks, she is, other than the chrome, Vaxxed, unwaxed, and ready to lay tracks. I've got her all waxed, windows cleaned. Everything else needs a second going over. I mean, windows are a pain to get all this fog out of. I got to do the inside still, but she's leaps and bounds above where she was. When you can see your reflection like that in her, it's great. So I going to start on the chrome here. I also went through and, polished up the both 78s. Well, I guess that's a 77 technically, hodgepodge, but polished up the Harley and the Eldorado roughly while I was at it. Want to get some photos of both of these front wheel drive beasts together. But yeah, so next step, let's get out some Quad Zero steel wool and hit some of this stuff. This is going to come right out, but look at this car. I mean, whew, what a beauty. I wasn't a fan of this color originally, but I'll tell you what, sure growing on me. And we got all the hubcaps on there. An old Indian trick, you put your very worst hubcap on that corner because that's the hubcap you look at the least. This is the second least. That's the one you look at the most, and that's the one the second. So best, second, best, third, fourth. All of them are good, but I didn't put the new one on. I put that in the back seat because the next person that has this car can decide if they want to use that hubcap on it. But, whew, my God, does she shine. Stay tuned. Okay, folks, today we are going to try and tackle some of the grime on this bumper. And for that, we're going to be using Quad Zero steel wool. You can get it at your local Hobo Freight. And starting out with some penetrating oil. You can use a regular Doinker can of oil or something like that, but you want Quad Zero. It has to be Quad Zero. I'm going to go over this with that first to get a lot of this big stuff off. And then we'll come back and hit it with regular wax and polish it up for a fine polish, maybe some Never Dull. But stay tuned, and I'll show you how it's going as we make some progress here. Here's the first little bit, folks. You can see the contrast between there where I did and there where I haven't done. Again, there's spots on this that won't come clean, especially lower, but getting through that, this will look like a totally different car here. And I'll tell you what, this is hell on the hands. It's a lot of manual scrubbing, and just this little bit already hurts. So we're going to take our time going through this, take a lot of breaks, and I'll come back to you maybe when this whole bumper's done. All right, folks, front bumper and grill is done. I think I might take those lights off. I tried to do them, but I might take them off to get them a little better. But you can see this is already night and day better. Got all that green out of it. Cleaned it pretty well. There's some spots down by those turn signal lights. It's a little rough, but for a 60-year-old car to clean up like this, it still needs a little wax. We'll go from there. I gotta do the back, and this sunny fall day, I'm gonna pull these two out, get some photos of the sister cars together, and yeah, after I get that back bumper, on to the little electrical gremlins. We're still waiting on some other engine parts. Back again, 66. So now that she's all polished up, and we've got this beautiful pile of parts from Rock Auto. This came in 6 boxes, folks. 6 boxes, and they wonder why our landfills are filling up. We got belts. And yes, you see that right. There's 5 belts there because I bought extra because they're cheap. Why not? Oil filter. We're gonna do an oil change. Plugs, obviously, and the air filter on the bottom. Got some oil. Got some oil treatment. I was gonna put Lucas. I didn't have any Lucas in it, so we're just gonna use another brand, But yeah, let's dive into this. The oil filter on this unit is in the back, way down here, right about where the exhaust bends. So that's not ideal to get to. It might be one of those deals like a 2000s Monte Carlo where it's easier to take the wheel off. We're not gonna do that, we'll just jack her up. But anyways, let's get into this. Let's change some oil. Let's change some belts. I probably won't get to the belts tonight. It's gonna be an early night for me out in the garage. And we'll follow up with you here in a second. So this filter is actually super easy to get to. It was right next to starter, so I'm only a foot maybe under the car. Well, let me see if I can get this on camera. I kill myself. And got her out here. That was hand tight, which is good. What did we have in there? It was a trust. I don't trust that. Okay. So it's gonna drip there. We're gonna get our new one out here. I already got the mileage and the date written on it. I'll actually put that in first just because I pulled the old one out first and then drop the drain plug and get this 2-decade-old oil out. Swap it. This thing takes 6 1/4 quarts. So let's get her filled back up. Remember folks, always, always, always get some oil on your thumb or finger. Rub it on that seal before you put this sucker in. If you don't, you're gonna have a very bad time taking that thing out. I've had some terrible full business days trying to get oil filters off cars. Another good fact, you can take your old filters like this when they're still absolutely soaked with oil and just chuck them into your wood burner there. Give you an extra 10 minutes of heat in this October, and when you're done, you pull it out and you recycle it for steel scrap. Good to go. Conveniently, this bottle of oil treatment fits right in there. So, let that sit for a minute, and then we'll get back on to our 1030 here. Conventional, you always want to run conventional in these older cars. I know some people that run synthetic, but some of them have quart gaskets. A lot of them have quart gaskets. This conventional soaks in better. Don't put synthetic in these cars if you don't have to, folks. But run some additive, thicken it up. This engine's pretty tight, so it won't really matter, but that'll get everything going back to how it was back in 1966. So this is interesting. I got every spark plug except cylinder, what are we at here? 2. Duh. I have no idea how to get this out. Then I looked at it. It's got paint on it, which means this was the spark plug that was in here when they painted this engine. And if this engine wasn't repainted in the 90s, as I think it might have been on the top end, that means that's the same spark plug that was put in this car in 1965 when this rolled off the assembly line, and confirms that it's probably damn near impossible to get out by regular means without taking your AC condenser off. I have a few more ideas to try, but that girl might be staying there. All right, plugs are in, except that one. Not gonna touch it. Running fine. Double checked everything. So she's got new oil, she's got new plugs. Calling it a night. We're gonna do belts maybe tomorrow night. Finish up the rest of this stuff under the hood, and then we're gonna move into the electrical stuff inside. So see you tomorrow. So I was laying in bed last night and had an idea on how to get this last plug out while I was doing belts today, and I remembered that the socket to get this one out has a wrench on the back, or a nut, I should say, so I can actually turn that out of there. Now putting the new one in is going to be a pain, but it's going to be the first time that plug was changed. It's 1965. Got it. Remember guys, like I said, when you put the new ones in, never sneeze them. The next guy will thank you. This one, yeah, that's an oldie. Well, I got that plug out and instantly regretted it. It has been 35 minutes now to get the other one even started in. I had to do the old Indian trick here of putting, you can't really tell, putting a piece of hose on the end of the spark plug to get it started. Awful, absolutely awful. I understand why this plug has not been changed since 1965. And now I don't know how I'm going to get a socket in there because it's a different size socket than the one that took it out. I need a 13/16, not a 3/4. And a 13/16 won't fit in there with a ratchet. This was a bad idea. Future owner of this car, you're going to have to trust me when I say that I triple checked the gap on that spark plug about 5 times. Can't do 5 with a light in my hand. Don't try and get this plug out again. You have to drop the whole damn air conditioning unit. They didn't do it since 65, and I shouldn't have done it now. Don't mess with it. It's fine. All right, so we got the fan off here, which is a pain. These are always a pain because you can't fit a ratcheting wrench on most of them. So you're quarter turning them, and they never seem to want to get to the point where you can finger tight them. Power steering came off easy, thank God. Doing the alternator, and then this one off last because it's got to be the last one that goes on. Doesn't look like we're going to have too much problems with any of these. I say that now, knock on. Shit, cardboard. But let's get these going and get them on. Okay, spark plugs are back in, belts are back on. This AC was a pain. There's a hidden bolt back here. Can't see it, you can't feel it. You literally have to go in blind with an extension to get it, but belts are on and tight. So I'm gonna put the fan back on, put the air cleaner on, fire her up, and we'll call it a night after that. 45 minutes later, back again. I made the mistake of tightening down my belts before I had my fan on. And you have your water pump, your pulley, and then your fan. And if you have everything tight, they're not going to line up. Take everything apart, put the fan on, spin it, get it back. Another problem we have is the air cleaner doesn't sit down quite in there. As far as I can tell, it's riding on that stupid bracket on the side there. I don't know why that is. That should not be. It was not. Is not, could not. Why not? Staying off for now, I guess. But I'm going to fire this up. See it running with the new belts. And we're going to hit the hay. It's after midnight already, guys. Alright, folks. She's running with all new spark plugs, new oil, new belts, everything. She still needs some tuning with the choke circuit. And I think we're going to end up having to fiddle with this quadra junk. All my cars have the same issue this one has, where the fuel was leaking out of the bowl overnight, and you have to crank on her for the fuel pump to fill it up again, the fire. It's just a pain, real pain in the ass. That car does it all the time. My Corvette does it. We might have to fix that. We're not going to touch that now because that's not good. But anyways, it's running good. Choke circuit needs adjusted. It's not high idling when it fires up, and it takes forever to get to this point. So she's running smooth though. New belts are good. So shutting her down for the night, shutting me down for the night, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.